Hello and welcome back to the 10-Step Mix. I'm Al from musicguypodcast.com. We're working on my song called Waiting on the Right Time. And we are on step 8. We've imported our template, got our rough balance, done our mix bus, done our vocals, done our drums, done our bass. And now we're ready to start working on guitars and everything else. So let's get started here. We've got a couple of acoustic guitar tracks, and let's see what I did on my last session. I've got an EQ here, again, just standard Pro Tools EQ. It's adding a little bit of top end. It's rolling off some low end that we don't need. And I've got some more of these EQ points just subtracting some of the weird frequencies. So I'm going to zero those out for now and see how it sounds. And we'll bring it in mono. We'll pan it up the middle so we can hear. So that's just adding a little bit of glassiness, a little bit of pick sound on the strings, which is nice. There's a little bit of tubbiness in the low end, not too bad. Let's see if we can find it. Somewhere around there. We can take a bit of that out, I guess. Let's go, again, we don't want to go too crazy. We don't want to make it sound thin. Let's go -1. And we can in and out here with the in button. See what our... pretty subtle. Do -2 maybe. It's taking a little bit of weight, a little bit of heft out of the guitar, and because this isn't an arrangement where there's only an acoustic guitar and a vocal or something like that, we don't really need that low end in the acoustic. We're getting it from the bass and the drums. So the next plugin is another compressor, just probably tapping it a little bit. Probably a little less. Just to add some energy to the performance. And a little bit of tone, a little bit of meat. Alrighty. And we can add a little bit of reverb too. Let's make a send to our track, our verb track. And we'll follow main pan. So you can see when I pan this, down here, it's reflected in our main pan. Alrighty, and we'll copy these settings over to our other acoustic track since it's just the same part but played in a different capo position. And that one sounds like this. And together, they sound like that. It's a great way to get a big wide stereo image on your guitars if you record them in different capo positions. It adds a little bit of differentiation between the two, and will make them sound a bit wider. All right, so maybe we'll do a little bit less reverb than that. Let's go down -6 and copy that over. Just adds a little bit of size. Sounds good. All right, let's check out our electric guitars. And I like these API EQs on electric guitar, just a little bit of 7K. And one thing I like to do with electrics is, again, roll off some bottom end, not too much. We're just down at 100 here, because electric guitar does have a lot of beef to it, but we'll get it out of the way of the kick drum and the bass guitar so those can be heard a little bit better. And then we're rolling off a little bit of top, because electric guitars can often get really fizzy and a little bit too crazy up in the high end, so I like to roll off just a little bit of top end. Sometimes I'll come down to even 6K. Let's see what that does. So it obviously starts to muffle it. But if we go up to 7, it starts to get a little bit... And I know we're pushing 7 on this EQ, but the way EQs stack up, it's not an exact science. They sort of all muddle together and create some kind of weird analog shape when they all get put together. So you do have to use your ears. And if something sounds better than it did before, then you're doing the right thing. So don't try not to worry too much about the exact science of it. So we don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to leave it where it was, which was just the default frequency on this EQ, which was 8476. And I'm going to copy these settings over to our other electric guitars. And this was panned over here. And I think I want some delay on this as well. So I'm going to send it to our delay track. And follow main pan, post fader send, and we'll activate our delay, which is just another H delay. This is for the instruments. Quarter note delay. Analog is off. And away we go. Just adding some length. It's pretty nice and pronounced there. And we'll copy that over as well to our other guitars. Let's hear what this guitar is doing. So obviously that's really benefiting from the delay there. And finally we've got guitar 3. So this doesn't want delay, so I'm going to make that inactive. But it might benefit from a little bit of reverb, so I'm going to send it to a reverb instead. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So those are our guitars. Let's see if we can sort of fit them into the mix here. It's getting harder. Need to find a spot where they're all playing. I'm just waiting on the right time. Waiting on the right time. I'm just waiting on the right time. I'm just holding on to hold tight a rope around a piece of my heart, and I can't let go. All right, something like that. This snare verb, I think, is just a little too crazy for this song. I think I'm gonna mute it. Like a tighter snare, I think, on this song, or maybe we can just bring it down in volume. Let's see. I'm just waiting on the right time. Waiting on the right time. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll just bring it down in volume, but we definitely don't want a lot of reverb on the drums in this song, I don't think. All right, let's check out our synths. With synths, usually if the sound comes in really good, you don't have to do too much to it. We might just do a little bit of high passing, cutting some of the low end. So let's check out some of these synths in the chorus here. We'll start with this super analog synth. All right, let's check it out. Here we go. So we'll start by rolling off some low end. See if we can do 300. Don't even really notice that. I think we're going to go up to 500. This synth is really living up high for me. It's really going to add a little bit of a tickle at the top there. So maybe we'll add some top end to it as well to sort of give it even more. So we use the same guitar EQ again. Yeah, that's sounding pretty cool. Maybe around 10K. I like it. Just pushing a ton of top end there. And it is a little bit quiet, so we can use a limiter like the L1 just to give it a little bit more volume. And I'm going to throw a little bit of delay on it as well. Just to add a little bit more length to it, even though it's already quite long already, but I like the way it sounds. All right, let's check out this arpeggiator. Here we go. This one's pretty fun. So this one, same deal. Not much going on in the low end. Also not a ton going on in the high end either. So I think we can maybe pull this back a bit. Give it a little bit more low end, but not too much. We don't want it to start getting muddy and start to cover up the bass and the electric guitars. We want these synths to sort of live above the guitars and the drums and the bass. All right, and let's check out the saw. So this is kind of behaving a little bit like a guitar, so I'm just gonna treat it exactly the same. I'm gonna copy over from my electric guitar over here. There we go, sounds pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit of distortion too. I think I want a little bit more out of this one. So let's see, bring up the Lo-Fi plugin. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Maybe not quite that much, but I like what it's doing. It's adding a lot of volume, too. Yeah, it's a little too crazy, but it does sound cool. Let's go maybe, I don't know, to 5? What would that sound like? Yeah, it's definitely a lot louder, more exciting. Let's check out our verse synths. So we've got our main sort of verse pad happening here. So same deal here. We want to high pass, but not quite that much. Let's go to 200. This one. Want to maintain some of that low end. But you can hear when I bypass it, these sub frequencies sort of kick in and it gets a little, I'll turn that up. You hear those sub frequencies kick in, they're going to get in the way of the bass, so we don't want those. And we can bring this down maybe to 6K, free up some top end for some other instruments. And let's give this one a little bit of delay as well. That sounds pretty good to me. Maybe a little bit less delay. It's kind of obvious. That's a little bit better. Okay, and then we've got our oboe sound halfway through our verse. Let's check that out. Similar sort of thing. Let's copy our EQ over. Didn't lose anything there at all. Add some delay to it. And maybe we'll add some EQ too, so I'm just going to pull it over from the guitar. It just saves time. I don't have to go through these menus. I can just copy things over. Really feel like I'm getting much here from this. Not a lot of top end to pull from. So we'll just leave it there, I guess. Seems good. Okay, cool. So everything is pretty much in now except for our backup vocals. So we'll just take a quick listen through and do a little bit of fader balancing and maybe adjust some plugins if we feel like we need to. Let's see how it's sounding.
I'm afraid of the way I've been looking at you, 'cause I might give myself away if I stare too long. Would you feel the same? Afraid to tell you what I'm thinking, 'cause I want you to stay. I'm just waiting on the right time.
So it's getting closer. We'll come back for the next video and work on the backup vocals. See you there.